Hey guys, so we're going to jump right into how I made this velvet matching set. You're going to need some materials, some rulers, a marker, pencil, elastic, scissors, your fabric of choice, which mine was velvet, blue velvet. So you're also going to need a spaghetti strap shirt and a pair of shorts. And this will be really easy for you to use to make your pattern. So I only use my top to make a pattern for my bralette. And it was really simple. I just used the top shape of my shirt to do it. So in the middle of that shirt, I went up about 2 inches. I used my French curve to kind of curve that towards my side seam. And then I just created that triangle shape at the top. I went down center front about 2.5 inches, and I went down 2.5 inches on the side as well. And then I just connected that line straight across and also from the side seam to that line. Then I created a line from that center point down to that line so that will be my, I don't know what you would call it. But anyway, yeah, I kind of curved it because that's the part that's going to be right over your boob, and that's just how it's supposed to look. So I'm numbering them just so that you can see, the different pieces that you have. So for this bralette, you're going to have 3 pieces. So I'm creating this line because I'm also going to use this pattern for my back. And in the back, you don't want that triangle. So where that red line is, you're going to fold it off. So anyway, I didn't create a pattern for my shorts. I just traced them. Now these shorts fit me really tight, ass all out, and we don't want that. At least I don't. So I'm just making my shorts a little bit bigger, and I'm using fabric chalk to just trace it to my desired length and width and all of that good stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. And after I get it to the way that I want it, I'm just going to pin the fabric together so that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to use my fabric scissors to just cut that shape out. And you want to make sure that you cut out the appropriate pieces. You need 2 pieces for one leg. So you need 4 pieces in total for your shorts. The next thing that you're going to do is pin, then sew down your side seam. And then you're going to pin and sew down your crotch seam. And use some sort of stretch stitch so that you don't lose your stretch. Then once you do both, you're going to turn one leg right side out and leave the other side inside out. And then you're going to pin them together at the crotch seam. So you're basically going to put one leg inside of the other, connect it at the crotch seam, and make sure that your seam allowance is open so that it's flat. And then you're going to sew that all the way up to the waist on both sides. So right now I'm just showing you how I pin it, and then after I finish pinning it, I'm going to show you exactly where you should be sewing and where you should not be sewing, which you should not sew your waist closed. You should just be sewing your crotch seams at this point. And I'm getting ready to flip out my shorts now just to show you. So sew up that seam, and that's it, and use some type of stretch stitch. So now that you have that, you're going to turn your shorts inside out, and you can see that they are shorts. So right now I'm just kind of messing with the elastic. I don't really know how I'm going to attach it yet. Definitely going to hem it so that they're a bit short, but I also want to clean the insides with my overlock machine. I finally got it up and working, so I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So once you have your if you do this, you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to overlock a material that doesn't fray, but I'm trying to get used to my overlock machine, so that's why I'm doing it. So anyway, we're going to go on to the bralette, and you're just going to cut out these pieces. And when you cut these pieces out, if you're like me and you don't add seam allowance to your patterns, make sure that you cut the pieces out with seam allowance attached to it. And I'm cutting it out about a 1/2 inch bigger. So you just want to cut out 4 pieces of each of these pattern pieces. So after you do that, if you're like me and you want one pattern for everything, you're going to put the pieces back together, but you're going to fold off that triangle piece like I'm showing you here. And then you're going to use your chalk to just trace it, because that makes it a little bit easier. And then you're going to pin those pieces together just like we did on the shorts, and you're going to cut it out. But make sure you cut out your seam allowance, because I forgot to do that at the bottom. But just do that. So then we are going to begin putting it together, and basically take one of each piece and just pin it down. You see me pinning it down the center, and this is our bra part of the bralette, I guess. And then I'm going to show you right now what that's going to look like after you sew it, and that's exactly how we want it. And you're going to do that to all 4 of your pieces. So you should have 2 main pieces and then 2 lining pieces. So you should be doing this 4 times. And then that band that I have sitting right there, you're also going to pin that together in the center. You're going to pin that together in the center. And again, you want to use some sort of stretch stitch so that you don't lose your stretch. You want this to be comfortable. You don't want it to be hard to get on. We're not putting any zipper in it, so you want it to stretch and be snug against your body. So take that to the machine, do that. Also pin together that back piece down the center back and take that to your machine and do that. So now that we did that, we're going to take our bra pieces and connect it to our, we're going to take our bra pieces and we're going to sew it down center front. So just lay them out, put them right sides to right sides, make sure they line up, and then you're just going to pin down the center. And remember to do this to the main pieces and also do it to the lining pieces. The next thing you are going to do after that is take that band. Whenever I decide to pick the damn band up, take the band and you're going to put it right sides to right sides against our little bra piece. And then you're also going to sew that to the bra piece, right sides to right sides, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like when I get back from the sewing machine. So this is what it looks like. Make sure your seams line up and all that good stuff. Now I'm going to attach the back piece to my side seams. Now one thing that that back piece I realized was way too big because I incorporated my boob width in it. I hope you guys understand that. Like, the front of my chest is a lot bigger than the back, of course, because I have breast. So that's why I have that extra fabric in the center, but I'm just going to sew that off and be done with it. So yeah, so you want to make sure you do that both to the main and to the lining pieces. So I put it on, I tried it on, and I realized that it was a little too big for my back, like I said to you guys. So I'm just cutting off that excess fabric, and you want to make sure that if you have this issue, anything that you do to your main fabric, you need to do to your lining fabric so that you don't have anything, one piece too big and the other piece is too small. So once you do that, I'm just going to sew down that line again and be done with it. So right now I'm going to cut out my straps, and I want my straps to be really skinny. So I just cut this out and then I cut it down the center. I'm going to then fold it in half, right sides to right sides. I'm going to pin it and then I'm going to sew it at a 1/2 inch on that raw edge. And you need to do that to both pieces, of course. So that you'll have 2 straps. And this is team too long, but I'd rather it start off longer than shorter. So right now I'm going to pin my straps to my bralette, and right now I am pinning it completely wrong. I should be pinning it going downwards, not going upwards, and I did not realize that until I got to my sewing machine. So mistake number 1. But anyway, basically you just want to match up your seams, and this is where I realized that I did it wrong. And so I basically took my strap out and I'm doing it again. And you want your strap to be in between your fabric, so your fabric should be facing right sides towards each other, and your straps should be in the middle of that. So right now I'm just finessing it to put it the right way. And if you realize that your strap is getting in the middle of you sewing or getting in the way of you sewing, then that's when you know you did it wrong. But if you can sew it with no issue, your strap is not getting in the way, then that's kind of a sign that you did it right. And I know that this is probably confusing for you guys to understand exactly how I'm doing it. That's why I'm just kind of trying to give you this little explanation of how I did it. But yeah, basically I'm just fixing my straps, and I'm just going to go and sew that like I did. And I've been using a stretch stitch, which is stitch number 3 on my brother's machine. It looks like a zigzag stitch, but anyway, but it's not so big. But anyway, so right now I'm just cutting all of the excess off, and I'm pretty much done. Yeah, I'm cutting off all the excess. I'm making sure that nothing is bulky. And I'm cutting off them straps, them excess straps or whatever. So I'm taking it inside out. And then I wasn't really sure how I was going to do the bottom, so I forgot to film that part. But I think all I did was hem it, and that's it. So now I'm going to show you some pictures and a video. Hope you liked it.